Can you imagine turning on the TV, scrolling through your feed, and suddenly seeing the name William Shatner, the legendary Captain Kirk, with the words "Rush to Hospital" right beside it? For millions of fans across the world, that kind of news immediately sends a shiver down the spine. Shatner isn't just another Hollywood actor. He's a living symbol of a cultural phenomenon that has spanned generations. At 94 years old, his name carries not just nostalgia, but also a sense of history. Reports say that he experienced a medical emergency at his Los Angeles home related to blood sugar issues, and an ambulance was quickly dispatched as a precaution. Thankfully, updates soon clarified that he is resting comfortably at the hospital, which is a huge relief for fans who were instantly concerned. Still, the very idea of William Shatner, at his age and stature, being rushed for urgent medical care reminds us how fragile life can be, even for legends. Think about it. William Shatner has been a household name for more than 7 decades. To many, he's not just the actor who played Captain James T. Kirk, he is Captain Kirk. When Star Trek first aired in 1966, it wasn't an overnight hit. In fact, the show struggled with ratings and was even canceled after just 3 seasons. But reruns brought it back to life, igniting a fandom that grew into one of the most powerful communities in pop culture. From conventions to blockbuster films, Shatner's role as Kirk became larger than life. So when fans hear that their captain has been hospitalized, it feels personal, almost like a member of their own crew is in trouble. TMZ, which first broke the story, reported that Shatner's medical scare was linked to his blood sugar levels. While details remain limited, the good news is that he's said to be comfortable and stable in the hospital. What makes this moment so striking is that Shatner has always seemed larger than life, even beyond the bridge of the Enterprise. His career started way back in the early 1950s, when television itself was still finding its footing. He played small roles, took on bit parts, and slowly built a resume that hinted at the presence he would later command. One of his most iconic early performances was in The Twilight Zone, where he portrayed a terrified airline passenger convinced he saw a monster tampering with the plane's wing. That single episode remains a classic, and it showed audiences just how magnetic Shatner could be in front of a camera. Decades later, people still reference that performance. And yet, nothing compares to his turn as Captain Kirk, a role that transformed him into a cultural touchstone, which is why news of his hospitalization doesn't just feel like celebrity gossip. It feels like something that matters to everyone who has grown up with his work. For fans, William Shatner is more than an actor. They see him as a pioneer of imagination. Captain Kirk wasn't just a character. He was a symbol of exploration, leadership, and bravery, at a time when television rarely ventured into deep science fiction. Shatner brought charisma and a unique style to Kirk that made the role unforgettable, inspiring generations of dreamers, scientists, and storytellers. Beyond Star Trek, his career has been remarkably diverse. In the 1980s, he starred in T.J. Hooker, playing a tough, streetwise cop. Later, he reinvented himself once again with Boston Legal, earning Emmy Awards and showing that even in his 70s, he could command attention with humor, wit, and depth. That ability to constantly evolve has made him not only a Hollywood legend, but also a reminder that passion doesn't fade with age. Hearing that he's now recovering in a hospital makes people reflect on how much he has given and how much he still means today. What's remarkable is how Shatner has never slowed down, even in his later years. At 94, most people would be enjoying quiet retirement, but he has continued to take on projects, appear at conventions, and even surprise fans with new performances. In fact, his most recent acting credit came just last year, in 2024, when he reprised the role of Captain Kirk in a TV miniseries titled 765-874. That return felt like a gift to fans who thought they'd never see him don the captain's persona again. And let's not forget, Shatner even traveled to space in 2021 aboard Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin rocket, becoming the oldest person ever to experience spaceflight. That moment was poetic. Captain Kirk himself actually touching the stars. So now, hearing that he was rushed to the hospital, fans can't help but feel protective of him, hoping this is just a brief health scare and not a sign of something more serious. The news of his hospitalization spread quickly online, with fans flooding social media to share their concern, their memories, and their love for Shatner. Some posted clips of their favorite Captain Kirk moments. Others recalled seeing him live at conventions, while many simply expressed gratitude for the joy he's brought into their lives. That's the power of someone like William Shatner. His work has touched millions, so any threat to his health feels deeply personal. At the same time, it's worth remembering that he's 94 years old. Every year that he remains active in the public eye is something extraordinary, almost unheard of in Hollywood. And while the thought of him being vulnerable is difficult, it also highlights the resilience he's shown time and again throughout his career. From setbacks to reinventions, he's always bounced back, always found a way to keep going. Fans are hoping this time will be no different. Moments like this also remind us of Shatner's humanity. For decades, he's been larger than life, the face of adventure, humor, and resilience. But behind the spotlight, he's also a man who has lived through personal challenges, loss, and triumphs. His career hasn't always been easy. He's faced criticism, struggled financially in earlier years, and yet somehow always managed to reinvent himself and keep moving forward. That fighting spirit is part of why fans believe in him so much now. They trust that this health scare is something he'll recover from, just like so many hurdles before. And when you think of the sheer amount of joy he's given people, whether it's a kid inspired by Kirk's courage or an adult laughing at his quirky delivery, you realize just how rare it is for one person to shape culture the way Shatner has. The outpouring of support shows the depth of gratitude people feel for him. As we wait for more updates, one thing is clear. William Shatner's legacy is secure, no matter what. From that first appearance as Captain Kirk in 1966, to standing on stage at countless conventions, to boldly going into actual space in his 90s, he has lived a life that is both extraordinary and inspiring. News of his hospitalization is a sobering reminder that even icons are mortal. But it's also a chance for fans to reflect on what he's meant to them. Right now, reports say he is resting comfortably, and that's the best news anyone could hope for. But whether he's on screen, at an event, or recovering quietly in a hospital bed, the truth is that William Shatner has already left an indelible mark on the world. For fans everywhere, he will always be their captain, the man who showed us the stars and made us believe in the power of imagination. We wish him strength, health, and peace.